Hey guys, so tomorrow is going to be the big new update for Genshin, and we still have another banner to talk about in this video. We're going to talk about the Venti weapon banner because it's an interesting idea. I mean, there's a lot of cool weapons on there, but we're going to discuss should you roll for any of these weapons and how good are those weapons going to be. So if you do enjoy this little discussion, you can always feel free to sub. Only 4.1% of people watch my videos are subscribed. That's a lot higher than the last few times, but if you're new to the channel, we do daily Genshin Impact guides, discussions, and gameplay, and we're starting to do a bit more streams now, so you can always feel free to sub, feel free to unsub at any time, but let's get into it. So I'm going to put a picture of the new banner up here, so we have the Elegy for the End and the Skyward Blade as the two 5-stars, and the 4-star is the Alley Flash, Wine Song, Favonius Warbow, the Favonius Greatsword, and Dragon's Bane polearm. So let's discuss each weapon in depth and see where we're at with them. So Skyward Blade, that is a energy recharge sword. And I believe the passive for this weapon is that it also increases your movement speed if you use a burst. Don't quote me on that because I don't own Skyward Blade and I forgot to look it up. But it is a very, very good weapon for a character maybe like Xingqiu, Bennett, or you can run it on 5-stars like Jean. Maybe Chi if you wanted to. It's a very, very all good 5-star weapon you can put on your support sword users, and if you want to buff your sword users, you can always feel free to go for it, because the Elegy of the End is also another good weapon you could go for. Now bear in mind, right, you don't need these 5-star weapons to do good, because a lot of the 4-star weapons are extremely useful as well. But the Elegy of the End is a bit overkill. It's a weapon that I'm highly convinced is designed for Venti, because the stats on it really look like what Venti needs. So at level 90, it's got a 55% energy recharge with 608 base attack. Now, we've already established that two of Venti's best weapons are the Stringless, which has Elemental Mastery on it, which is good for swirl reactions, but the main thing was because it buffed your skill damage. And his other best in slot weapon was the Favonius Bow, because it gave you energy recharge. Now, the Elegy of the End, it does both. It's got energy recharge, so at level 90 it's 55%. It's got a high base attack of 608, and its passive is all about giving elemental mastery to you and your team by getting stacks by hitting opponents. And once you get 4 stacks, so it's like after 0.8 seconds of hitting people, you will get a massive buff that increases your elemental mastery by 100 and the attack for 20% for your entire team. And it's very, very strong, I believe. So should you pull for the Energy of the End? Well, I mean, if you want to make the game a lot easier, go for it. But I mean, personally, I wouldn't put on the weapon banner. But if you really like pulling on the weapon banner, and you really want a bow for Venti that makes the game even easier than using the Favonius or the Stringless, which you're guaranteed a Favonius bow anyway. So I mean, I guess if you really wanted another bow for Venti, you can always pull for it. But the 4-stars are something else. So we've got Wine Song and the Alley Flash. They're 2 new weapons coming in the update, and it says on the images that they are event exclusive 4-stars, so you will not be able to get them in the standard wish. I feel like Miyoho are doing this now because they've realized that the weapon banner is probably one of the lowest pulled banners in the game. So they're trying to get sales up on those banners by increasing the amount of people pulling on it. So Wine Song, it's an energy recharge catalyst, so it's already pretty decent for support users, so maybe a Sucrose or a Lisa if you like using Lisa. And what it does is it increases your stamina, it decreases your stamina consumption of your sprints by 14%, so it's good for just getting a hit and dodging or sprinting somewhere. Or if you use a sprint or an alternate sprint ability, which I can't think off the top of my head a character that does that, but it increases your attack by 20% for 5 seconds. So sounds like a fun 4-star to mess around with. It could be good on a Sucrose, for example, and Sucrose is on the banner, so you never know. But the main one that I want to talk about is the Alley Flash. Now, the Alley Flash is a sword that has Elemental Mastery. However though, at level 90, it's only got 55 Elemental Mastery, so that's an interesting amount right there. So what could, what is that going to do? Oh wait, base attack. The Ali Flash has a higher base attack than some of the 5-stars in the game. So, for example, let's take weapons, like the Staff of Homer. I don't know if it shows it on the thing here, but Staff of Homer at level 90 has a base attack of 608, I believe? Yes, that's right. The Staff of Homer has a lower base attack at level 90 than this 4-star sword that's on the weapon banner. So, I mean, there is a very, very interesting play you could do with this, and you didn't hear it from me, but you could put as many energy recharge, substats, artifacts on, let's say, a character like Xingqiu or a character like Bennett. And then, if you got 160% energy recharge, which I know Bennett's a bad example because I've not leveled him up, but if you got, let's say, a good amount of energy recharge, you could then try and get as much. You could just spam the Ali Flash to as high as possible, and you'd have a higher base attack. And for a character like Bennett, that would mean that he's giving more attack to your team. Now, however, the only situation where content creators and everyone else wouldn't recommend it is if they already had the Skyward Blade. Now, if you don't have the Skyward Blade, I mean, we not all of us do. A lot of people run the Skyward Blade on Bennett, and obviously not everyone has it, so Ali Flash, it could be okay for Bennett if you're willing to try and get as many energy recharge artifacts and substats as you can for them. But we're going to talk about the other weapons on the banner now, because they make a lot more sense to me. And they are some very simple weapons. We have Favonius Bow. You get this for free. Energy recharge bow with okay attack, and you get particles if you score crit. Now, is it good for archers? It sure is. It's okay for Amber. It's okay for Fischl. It's okay for Venti. Well, it's very good on Venti. There isn't a character where this isn't a terrible weapon for, and therefore it's good. Same thing with Favonius Greatsword. Energy recharge Greatsword is great for your supports. So you could run it on a Beta if you wanted to. You could run it on a Diluc if you wanted to use him as a support. You could run it on a Chongyun. You could run it on really any Greatsword character that you'd like to use as a support or just needs energy recharge. You're covered. Now the last weapon is the Dragon's Bane, and the Dragon's Bane is my weapon for Hu Tao. Now, if you like using Hu Tao, the Dragon's Bane's pretty fun for her, because it's not like I had any other choice anyways. But if you run Hu Tao with a Xingqiu, high Elemental Mastery, high passive, it's a very, very fun combination to use, and I'd recommend it just for that. So yeah, that's about every weapon on the weapon banner, and whether or not, the situations that they could be useful in. So if you did enjoy this, feel free to sub, like, comment, subscribe, all of that jazz, and I'll see you guys in another video soon, probably tomorrow in the updates, so take care.